Hey everybody, Matt Jobin here. Out in one of my favorite forest areas nearby to where I live, and I just wanted to do a follow-up video for you on the Allegheny 100, which happened this past weekend. Go over what the event is and how I performed throughout the entire challenge, and also how my gear worked out for me. The Allegheny 100 is an awesome event. I highly suggest it. I'll definitely be back next year. Just met a ton of incredible, inspiring, and very friendly hikers throughout the whole entire challenge. It's very well organized. Everything is very detailed. Everyone's super helpful. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. One of the best events that I've done. And I really enjoyed myself the whole entire time, despite the circumstances, which we'll go over in just a minute. Yeah, I highly suggest it. This year, in 2018, it was $65, and that provided me with this shirt that I have on, a nice polyester moisture wicking base layer t-shirt, membership to the North Country Trail Association for 1 year, and also shuttle ride to the start of the challenge, which was super helpful for me. If you're looking to give back, it's a great way to give back. It's a great way to make new friends, meet new people, and really push yourself. If you're looking for something that involves unsupported backpacking and long distance mileage. Now, for the event itself and what happened to me, I ended up getting food poisoning before it even started. I got it Thursday night into early Friday morning, and I had that to deal with during my 7-hour drive from Collinsville, Connecticut, where Reach Your Summit is based out of, to Allegheny National Forest in Pennsylvania. And so I made several frequent pit stops along the way to do what I needed to do. And I didn't eat much, and I couldn't eat much. I felt very sick. I had salad the night before, and I am not going to have salad again next year before I go. And so I felt nauseous right at the very beginning before we even shuttled down to the start and before the hike even started. It was challenging. It was very challenging for me, outside of the challenge that already presented itself with hiking 100 miles in 50 hours. And so I went to the bathroom one last time before I started the event, and then we kicked off a little before 6 o'clock p.m. on Friday night from Marionville, and we started hiking north on the North Country Trail through Allegheny National Forest toward our cars, which were parked 100 miles away. I felt great for the first 8.5 miles as everything had left my system before I started, and then that's when it kicked in. One of my gaiters blew out on me, and then from there, after I filled up with water, because I was trying to stay hydrated, I just got very sick again. I felt like I was gonna pass out that night a couple of times. And the pace was great. I was around 3.5 to 4 miles an hour, despite feeling very sick. And I had a great group of people that I was hiking with, and we pushed past the 25-mile mark that night. And then I couldn't go any further. I kept stumbling around and pushing myself. And my fellow hiker, Scott, thank you. Very appreciative. He stuck with me, and we hiked together. And around 1:30 a.m., we ended up deciding to set up camp for the night. So I set up camp, felt very nauseous again, and the next morning I woke up, threw up, and ended up doing the other, number 2 very badly. And after that, packed everything up, and I just kept pushing on. I drove out there. I wanted to really push myself. I needed to go through this challenge. And so Saturday, I hiked by myself most of the day, and my pace was still around 3.5 to 4 miles an hour, despite having to stop a few times and go to the bathroom or take a break because I felt like I was going to pass out. And around mile 34, my other gator blew out. So yeah, the gators blew out, but they had a lot of mileage on them before the challenge. So after that, I started slowing down. I went from 4 miles an hour down to 3.5, down to 3, down to 2.5, and eventually I made my way into the halfway point. Everyone was cheering for me, taking pictures, and I just got this huge boost of energy again. And I said I was going to continue on, so I hiked about half a mile away from the halfway point, and I couldn't do it anymore. I didn't want to risk putting, my health in jeopardy, or putting the volunteers in jeopardy to come out and look for me, or possibly have something happen. I definitely was not going to finish the 100 miles in 50 hours with my pace staggering so low, and feeling like I was going to pass out again. And I was told I looked white as a ghost, and everything that I put in my body throughout the challenge, I couldn't keep. It left my system very, very quickly. So had it not been for noon tablets, I would have gotten dehydrated even quicker and probably passed out. So the noon tablets helped me out a lot. And Body Glide. I came to one point in the challenge around Minister Creek where I started feeling hot spots. And so I stopped, I rinsed my feet off, I rinsed my socks off, tied them to the outside of my pack, and I put a nice fresh dry pair on after I put Body Glide on my skin, and I felt great the whole rest of the challenge. So in end result, I did 51 miles in about 16 and a half hours with food poisoning. It was a great challenge, and I need to go back now. So next year, I'm gonna go back and sign up for the full 100 and torture myself again and hopefully accomplish it. I am not going to have salad the night before, and I'm really going to push myself and look forward to competing and completing the 100 miles next year. It was a great experience, as I said, despite feeling very sick throughout the whole event. It was very rewarding for me. It was one of the best experiences of my life, as I mentioned. Hiking at night was a lot of fun. Had a few groups that I hiked with throughout the challenge, but with my pace, I did hike alone for the most part, mostly through Saturday. At the beginning on Friday, we had a lot of people that were kind of with each other, and so we went from group to group throughout the night. It was great. Ran into a lot of mud, and it was mid-70s Friday into the upper 50s at night on Friday night when we were hiking until 1:30 in the morning. Saturday was pretty much cloudy, around upper 60s. There was a light sprinkle that came by, and then around 9 o'clock at night it just started pouring out, and it was pouring through Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. It wasn't too buggy. A few forest roads I crossed. I ended up having service in some spots with Verizon, but not too much service. So I was able to text and check in with people. I had my spot device, so they were able to track me and see where I was. It was pretty comfortable. It wasn't too buggy. It wasn't muggy. I was very fortunate to have good weather throughout the portion that I hiked. A lot of people were getting blisters. A lot of people were going through their own challenges that they were pushing through too. But end result, we were all looking out for each other, and that's what really made this event even more special for me. Everyone was helping each other out if you needed something, hiking with groups, checking in with each other. It was just felt like we were all a family, and I really loved that homegrown feel for this event. Nobody was competing against each other. Everyone was super friendly. It was a great event to get out to. Luckily, I was very fortunate to get a ride back from somebody who worked for the Forest Service. They brought me back to my car that night, Saturday night, and I just inflated my sleeping pad, set up my sleeping bag quilt, and I just slept in the back of my car that night. And then Sunday morning I woke up, it was downpouring, and I ended up driving home Sunday afternoon and just resting all night. I kept passing out, waking up. And so I'm happy to report I had no blisters. My body felt great aside from being sore and aside from being sick. I had headaches, I felt very dehydrated, I felt very depleted, and felt like I was going to throw up every couple of seconds or go to the bathroom. That's just what happens when you have food poisoning. A couple of highlights of the event. The first was the bog bridge right at the...
Oh, shit.
I call that barely floating.
Oh, man.
I've seen haunted houses that have just more stable.
Reminds me of Noah's Ark at Kennywood.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
The old
This
Noah's
looks
Ark.
awesome.
Yeah.
The key is halfway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, shit. You got it, you got it.
That last step's a doozy.
Yeah, so that was super exciting. That was a fun experience for all of us going through that. Another highlight were some of the views. The North Country Trail is beautiful. I hope to through hike it one day. Even more so when it, with the bill that just passed where they're looking to connect the North Country Trail to Vermont. I'm excited. Hopefully I'll be able to do that one day and add it to my list of long distance through hikes that I've done. Another highlight for me was setting up camp. The camp experience was great. I had a few people that hiked past throughout the night, but I was so sick and worn out and depleted that I slept through everything for about 3 or 4 hours, and then I woke up, packed everything up, and left. And I made sure to set up my camp in what I call a 5-star site. So I had good tree cover around me. It was pretty flat, lots of leaves and pine needles underneath, and not too many roots or rocks. Away from water, so it wasn't super buggy, and away from the trail, so I wasn't taking away from other people that were hiking during this challenge, but also so they weren't waking me up when I felt like crap. My food, I barely ate any of my food. The first night I had a chia packet and a Snickers bar, and that was all that I could put in my system, and it left very quickly. The chia helped retain some water in my system, so that was good, and I just kept drinking noon tablet water. The following day I had a little more food in my system, but not much. I think I got home with about 4.5 pounds of food still in my bag, so I had that to carry around with me all day Saturday. That was not fun. You want to eat that food and burn it off throughout the challenge. You don't want to be carrying it through the whole 100 miles. So yeah, noon tablets were what kept me going. As far as my gear, everything aside from the gaiters, which had a lot of mileage on it already, performed flawlessly. My Solomon shoes were super breathable, kept my feet dry. Hiking at 3.5 to 4 miles an hour, your feet are gonna be burning up. So I took the socks off and did what I needed to do as soon as I started feeling a hot spot, and I didn't get any blisters. So that was great. The traction on those shoes were excellent. I got really good ground feel. It helped relieve a little bit of soreness too, being lighter in weight and being something that I was comfortable hiking in. I did end up going with the Osprey Levity pack, which for the most part was great. The only thing I didn't really care for was how bulky the pack was, but it had the pockets that I needed to access water frequently, and also using the back shove-it pocket to throw things in there if I needed it. And so that was very helpful for me. My tarp system, flawless. The bivvy, flawless. Ground cloth. My sleeping quilt, it did get, into the upper 50s to low 50s at night, so that allowed me to sleep comfortably with just my running shorts and my base layer sleeves rolled up. So that was great. And I had great breathability with my shelter system, so I didn't have to worry about condensation as much. My Catadine Be-Free filter, excellent. I was able to filter water quick on the go, drink right from that. And I had my 2-liter Seeker, so if the bottle crapped out on me, I was able to have another one to continue filtering water. But I even passed it off to a couple of other people so they could use it and filter their water. Other gear, Picaridin was super helpful for the buggy sections with those forest roads. The head net helped a lot with the insect shield in it. Permethrin was great. I think I got one mosquito bite throughout the whole challenge. I didn't have any ticks on me or anything. My trekking poles were great. They helped me a lot, especially when I was staggering Friday night and feeling really, really sick. Personal reflection, looking back on all of this, my training was great before this challenge. I would definitely suggest anyone who wants to do this next year, and hopefully I'll see you next year, get out there, do some big mileage days like I did. The 22.5, 25-mile hike. When I did the 40-mile hike for the loop that I created, that was super beneficial. Water, I was drinking a lot because I kept getting dehydrated frequently, and that was because of the food poisoning, or close to becoming dehydrated, and I wanted to avoid that, so I just kept putting in the electrolytes in my system, and luckily I did, because I was able to get back safely. Food, I can't really tell you much about that one because I didn't eat a lot of the food that I had with me, but based on my logic and the nutrition and hydration video that I put up, I feel that it would have helped. I probably wouldn't have gone through all of it, but factor in, the conditions, the terrain, and the gear and stuff that you're bringing, your personal body weight, you're probably going to want to carry around 5 pounds of food for this. So yeah, just get out there, do some big mileage days, and you don't have to do the full 100. You can sign up for 25-mile, 50-mile, or even 75-mile. No matter what, you're getting out there, you're pushing yourself, you're challenging yourself, and you're going to meet a great group of people. Hike your own hike, get out there and do whatever mileage you want to do. I love the torture of it, so I'm going to be out there battering myself next year and doing the full 100 with a few other souls that are out there. Yeah, it's a wonderful experience. It's a beautiful trail, and if I can help you out in any other way, please feel free to get in touch. Reach out to me, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. I'd also like to thank Tina, Cassia, Konstantin, Jesse, Linda, Alicia, Kim, Bob, Scott, Ian, Dean, anyone else I forgot to mention. You are all people that I met throughout this event. You all helped me out greatly. Whether you were coordinating this event or you know, making sure I was okay, or I was hiking with you throughout this challenge. You're all awesome people, and I greatly appreciate every one of you. The ANF Allegheny National Forest chapter, the North Country Trail Association, and friends and family, thank you for the support. Thank you for following me during this adventure and keeping me going. I greatly appreciate every one of you. You're inspiring, you're rewarding in every way. And so thank you guys for watching this video. Thanks for the support. Feel free to subscribe. As I mentioned, any questions you have, reach out to me, whether it's through Reach Your Summit's website or in a comment below, and I'd be happy to provide you with input in any way that I can. I hope this helps you for any endurance challenges you're looking to do. Hopefully I'll see you out there next year. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks everyone.